Hey YouTube, it's me. Anyway, today I kind of wanted to like update y'all on some stuff and talk about a few things and everything. I kind of tried out something really wild today and everything. I did like this peacock effect and everything. I don't know if you can really tell and stuff, but I like teal right there and then purple on both sides and everything. And I did like a sparkly black eyeliner, and then to kind of mute the eyeliner I did the metallic teal, and then I did, well, winged eyeliner and everything. There you go. So I like it and everything. I'm not really used to doing like bright colors like that and everything because it's like bam. But yeah, normally I do like maybe a gray or brown or like maybe a like plum purple or something like that, but or sometimes like a muted blue or something. But I like almost never do like bright colors like that because it's like, oh my gosh. But yeah, I like it. Everything, it's a fun little thing to do and stuff. And then my hair, yay, I curled it again. One thing I learned, I was watching like a couple videos on YouTube and stuff like that, and like in order to like keep my length or lack thereof and everything, when you're like doing your hair, if you have short hair and stuff, like put it off into sections, and then yeah, I don't know if you could see it and everything, but just put it off into sections and then like flip your hair outward on the bottom and then curl the rest, except for your bangs if you have bangs. But yeah, so I like it. And then of course I like totally blinged it out and everything like that. So yeah, but anyway, right now my kids are taking a nap, so I'm like so happy because I get a break and everything, because like today they've been like totally stressing me out, running me ragged, and it's like almost every 5 seconds they're screaming and everything because one of them took one's toy, and you know, all a sibling rivalry stuff. Girls aren't as bad as boys in that and everything, but girls kind of they do the high-pitched scream, and that's like, oh my god. So yeah, but I was like telling my husband that, you know, mama needs a break and everything, so I'm like, yeah, this is my break right now. So he's out doing stuff and everything. But yeah, last night was kind of like, yeah, it was kind of difficult and stuff like that. He and I got into it again and stuff like that, and it's just, I mean, now that I'm thinking about it and everything, and now that I'm like calmed down, I realize exactly what it was and everything. I realize what caused it all. I mean, the stuff that we like fought about last night was basically insignificant stuff that was taken completely out of proportion and everything, and I realized that, and he and I were both at fault at that. But like, I realize now that it was actually, it had nothing to do with him and I, basically, but it was the enemy talking to us and everything and trying to get us to, you know, go at each other and stuff like that, and be like, your neck fit here? Basically. And I mean, I felt for it a little bit and stuff like that, but I got to the point where I was like, you know what, I can't listen to this anymore, and I walked out and stuff like that. Anyway, but yeah, I was like, I talked to my dad and stuff like that, and he's like, you know, you guys really need to talk about these problems and stuff like that when you're both calm. So yeah, but we're working on it and stuff like that. But one of my friends and I were talking last night and everything, and they were saying that, you know, that, you know, it kind of looks like he's going back into what he used to do and stuff like that, and how he used to treat me and everything. And it's like, and they were talking about like, kind of implying that, you know, like, what if he does and everything? What are you going to do? Are you going to leave him again and stuff like that? And basically, no, I'm not. I'm staying in the marriage and everything, and we're going to fix the marriage, because God gave me a promise, a couple actually, I think, a couple of promises. And God told me that, don't worry, I got this, and everything. Basically in the voice, don't worry, I got this. Yeah, that's what I heard. And so I'm like, okay, thanks for the humor, God. But yeah, God has it under control and everything, and he promised me that he was going to restore my marriage, and he was going to make it greater than it ever was, and everything. And the friend I was talking to, they were like, because I didn't really answer them and stuff like that, and okay, you will know who you are and everything, nobody else will, but you will, so don't kill me. But anyway, the friend was kind of talking about, like, because I didn't answer the text and everything for a long time, only because my phone was charging, everything, and they were like worried that they were stepping on toes and stuff like that. And I'm like, I did reply back and say, you know what, you're not stepping on any toes, because there's no toes on the ground. I'm held in the arms of God and everything right now because of everything that's going on and stuff like that. And I know that God is comforting me, because I do have pain over, like, any events. I don't right now, but, like, in the light of the events, yes, I do. But anyway, God has been, like, really speaking to me and telling me, reminding me of the promises that he made me and everything. And he told me to follow my heart, because he is leading my heart and everything. And that was really big for me in that moment, because at that moment I was like trying to decide whether or not I was going to go back. And I was like wanting to go back in my heart, because I love him, I love my husband and everything, but I wasn't really sure at that moment if it was God telling me that or if it was just my own desires. And so when, like, that was spoken, I was like, oh my God, wow, light bulb. And I'm like, okay, I'm going. So yeah, but one of the things that I was like trying to tell my friend and everything was, God knows what we're going to do way before we do it and everything. And God is incapable of lying. And so, like, when God makes us a promise, we can't mess it up. The only way that we can mess it up is if we walk completely away from God and turn our back on God. And I'm not doing that. Everything. I'm pressing into God and everything. So the only way that, like, we can mess it up is if, like, we do that, and I'm not. And I mean, my friend was trying to, like, say that, God's not going to force somebody to do something and everything. And so what if your husband, like, doesn't want to do it and stuff like that? And I told my friend that, yeah, God's not going to force us, but, God already knew what my husband was going to do before he made the promise to me and everything. And that's really big. God already knew all that and everything. So, and God never makes a promise he's not going to keep. So with, like, that thinking and everything, you can actually trust that, hey, God already knew what was going to happen right back when he made that promise. Everything. He already knew on this date, this is going to happen, we're going to do this, and it's going to blow up in our faces. God already knew that. And everything. But he still made the promise. And everything. Knowing that. So, I know, like, friends and family, they know that they see more than I do. And everything, because they're kind of on the outside looking in and stuff like that. But God sees even more than they do. And everything. Because he's on the way outside looking in. He sees the whole entire picture and everything. And so I mean, I was trying to kind of get that across and everything, but I wasn't, really explaining it very well. So anyway, if you're watching this, I hope I explained it well. But yeah, anyway, I guess my point is that, we can't mess up God's promises for us and everything, no matter what we do. And it's, God already knows. I mean, God made me a promise like way, way, way back when that I was going to marry a preacher and everything, or a pastor. Yeah, he said I was going to marry a pastor. And he already knew that I was going to marry my husband. He already knew that and everything. And so, I mean, it hasn't really come to pass yet and everything. And I mean, my husband's had it on, spoken over him that he's going to be a pastor and everything. So, but I mean, I don't know when and everything. But, you know, I still remember that promise, and I'm still resting in that promise. And I don't know what that's going to look like yet. I don't know if it's going to be something like a pastor of a church, or if it's going to be like teaching youth, like a youth pastor. I mean, a pastor's a pastor, you know? So yeah, anyway, there are lots of promises that God's made me that, I mean, some of them have come to pass and everything. Like the promises that, I'm going to be speaking wisdom into people's life. I mean, that's kind of come to pass. I've been doing that and everything. I don't know if it's been happening here or if it's been happening wherever, but God's been showing me a lot of stuff, and he's been reminding me of promises that like have been spoken over me like way, way back in my childhood and everything. So yeah, it's really cool because, I mean, I had struggled before, and I mean, my dad told me that he even struggled with it, like thinking that he messed up God's promises and everything like that. And God told him, no, you didn't. I already knew you were going to do this. So yeah, it's really cool. But anyway, like, I've been like getting a lot of advice from people and stuff like that. And I mean, I always welcome advice and stuff like that, no matter what it is. But like, I always take it prayerfully, very prayerfully, because right now I'm at a spot in my life where I'm really focusing on God and my relationship with him, and then focusing on not listening to any lies that the enemy might be telling me or trying to tell me. And like, sometimes that can come in the form of advice from other people, and I mean, it's not their fault. It's totally not their fault, and I realize that. It's just them speaking through like their woundings and lies that they believe and everything like that. And so the enemy kind of works on that, and it's like, okay. But yeah, I really like, I do like listen to advice and stuff like that, and in that moment, I ask God, okay, is this something that's of you, or is it not really the kind of stuff that I want to take and everything? So yeah, because I mean, I had like an old friend way back when, that friend was like pretty negative a lot and everything, and like I think part of the mistake was anytime I like talked to her about my marriage was when I was having problems, and so that kind of like fueled the fire. But like, the friend got like so caught up with the bad side of my husband that they didn't take the time to, you know, really get to know the good parts and everything, and so they like didn't really like him or respect him or anything like that. They saw him as like this bad person who's hurting their friend and everything. And so any advice that I like would receive from that person was always of a negative kind and everything, and it wore on me a lot because, you know, at that point I didn't really know what to listen to and everything, and I was contemplating taking their advice. I mean, I'm glad I didn't and everything. But yeah, it's like, I guess my point here is like, anyone who has had a promise from God and everything, rest in that and everything. rest in the promise, meditate on that promise, and cultivate it. Because right now, that's a seed and everything. And, you know, gardeners do with seeds. They put fertilizer on it, they put water on it, and they even talk to him, and stuff like that. So, I mean, they nurture the seed, and it starts to grow. And everything. And it grows into whatever the seed is. And everything. Say with me. I mean, I had one of my other friends speak over me that, like, she saw a rose, and like the rose was like blooming and everything, and she told me that, you know, you are meant to speak like love and wisdom into people's lives and everything. And so I'm like, oh my god, that's an awesome word, I totally take that and everything. And so but yeah, it's really cool, because I mean, just like with you guys and everything, if you're going through stuff and everything, just remember to rest in God and everything. Talk to Him and everything, and like cultivate and nurture that seed that He's given you of His promise, because it's well worth it and everything. Because I mean, okay, yeah, I'll tell you guys a little story and everything like that, and then I'll probably be done. But anyway, when I first went back to my husband and everything, he, like, that event was like completely God and everything. That was something that only God could have done and everything, because like I was willing to go back and everything. I wanted to work on us and stuff like that, but there was a point where he wasn't willing. My husband was not willing to do it because he was angry and everything. And so it was like his heart was hardened and everything. And then it was like a month later, he contacted me and he was like, can you come home and everything. And at that point I hadn't received the word from God and everything, but it's just that in itself. I mean, it wasn't that he like just wanted me to, you know, be there or whatever. He missed me and everything. And that showed me that, you know, God was softening his heart and stuff, even if he doesn't realize it. God was softening his heart. I saw it. But yeah, anyway, back to the story. So it's just going along and everything, and him and I getting back together and stuff like that, and just like little things that like he's been doing and stuff like that. Like a couple nights ago, he and I got into an argument, and then like after that, he was like, I'm so sorry for what I said and everything. I feel really bad for that and everything. And he never said, well, I won't say never. He rarely said that he ever felt bad for doing something and everything like that. I mean, he'd apologized before, but, you know, it's just, so yeah. Anyway, that him saying that was like, oh my gosh, wow. God is really, he is working in my husband's life, and that was proof. And I mean, not everyone will see it as proof. They'll like look at the negative side, like, oh, he did this or whatever. But I'm looking at the positive side, as he apologized and he felt bad for doing it and everything, and he was repentive about it. And so I'm like, oh my gosh, that's awesome. So anyway, yeah, it's getting on about 20 minutes, so I'm like rambling here, but yeah, it's just, it's really awesome to see how God's doing great things. And I mean, even in the smallest of things, that he's working in my husband's life, and he's working in my life and everything. And even my dad was talking about, he's starting to read the 5 love languages and everything, and he was like saying, you know, I'm only on the first 2, and already I'm seeing you guys. So yeah, my main ones are quality time and words of affirmation, and my husband's are acts of service. And I know that, and I mean, I want to try to get back into reading the 5 love languages and meditating on it, because, you know, and I hope he will too and everything. But yeah, it's just, it's a really great book and everything, and I recommend it for any couples that are like, even if you're not going through problems if you want to really cultivate and strengthen your marriage. I really suggest doing that. So, anyway, it's over 20 minutes, so I need to skedaddle. Yes, I said skedaddle. Deal with it. So, yeah, anyway, I hope you guys are blessed. Sorry for the videos that it's, like, so long and everything like that. If you made it through to this point, congrats. You are awesome and everything, and I hope you are blessed. So anyway, I guess I will be going now. Definitely I should. So yeah, God bless YouTube.